Good morning, and we're right beside CAMH, which is the Oak Queen Street Mental Health Institution, and we're going to be taking a walk up Ossington Avenue today. Ossington Avenue, of course, has a lot of history behind it. The school that Karen used to teach at, Santa Cristo, which is now part of the University of Toronto, is along Ossington, just on Humbert Street. Maybe a quick look down. Ossington has a great deal of history behind it. It's become quite a busy street, a lot of restaurants and clubs, and it sure has changed from the times that Karen and I were down there. But one of the biggest bits of history, if you're going to YouTube, go to the Old Toronto series. They've got a really good short documentary on it. Is that James Earl Ray, the person who shot Martin Luther King, or I should say assassinated Martin Luther King, lived here quite freely for a number of months over time, and quite out in the open here on Ossington Avenue, over to the Wheat Chief Tavern, of course. And he lived not too far from the Venetia Bakery. And I think the main reason why, and everybody thinks the main reason why, is that he actually got a jaywalking ticket, and he thought the cop may have made him. So he went on the run with his Canadian passport. How he got one, we don't know. And was arrested at Heathrow in London. I think had he just kept quiet and laid low and Canada, he probably would have stayed quite comfortable for some time. Another interesting fact is Muhammad Ali trained here for his fight with George Chuvalo back in the 60s at the boxing club here on Ossington. Some beautiful, beautiful old buildings along the street. Hey, look at that. It says, meet me on Bruce Street. There you go, the Ken Continuum and T-Shods. If you need me, you can meet me on my street. But we're going to try and take a bit of a walk up to Bloor. Unless it starts getting too late in the morning, I'm expected elsewhere. There's some absolutely lovely artwork around. The murals. And this is Humbert Street right here that we're crossing. And if you look down the street a little ways, there's a school there. Might want to take a walk by it just for Olive and Karen. They taught there a number of years. And that would have been Santa Cristo School. Now, of course, it's University of Toronto. lot of good people cross those doors. And here it is right here. This is where the building where Muhammad Ali trained, or was where it was. And Muhammad Ali faced George Chuvalo for the world heavyweight boxing title. Ali once said that Chuvalo had the hardest punch of anybody he ever faced. And this was the place where the Venetia bakery was. I thought they were going to keep it open, but they did not. It was too bad. They used to have the most exquisite butter tarts there ever was. That's why the Outlaw here has a few extra wrinkles. Or as my wife likes to call it, the Dunlap disease. My belly Dunlap over my belt line.
Okay, I'll see you in a bit.
Hi, buddy. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, pretty soon the next videos will be coming from Edmonton back home, and Drumheller to the Royal Tyrrell Museum, and around the town of Drumheller, and definitely stopping at Bernie's for a nice burger. It's been a fun 3 weeks in Toronto. I hope to get one live stream in with Ken before I go. If not, that's okay too. He's been a big promoter of my channel. That's the Ken Continuum, and I do hope that you join his channel as well. I'm still waiting to find T-Shods and Henry. Somebody mastering the three-point turn in downtown Toronto. Hope everybody enjoyed my video to Old Park Pharmacy here today. Isn't this a gorgeous cabinet? Look at that. I don't think you can really see it. All handcrafted, out of my price range, in other words. Once again, Ossington is a street that has defied gentrification. I mean, they've got a lot of the old style buildings that still remain, and I dare say that they're probably going to try and keep it as long as possible to what they're doing. We're just coming up on Dundas Street here. Up and down Dundas Street. This Ossington bus to Liberty Village and back up the street to Eglinton West has got just absolutely great service. Comparison to the subway lines I keep on getting stuck in. It's just beautiful old Victorian houses here, just lovely. This is pretty much the one thing that I do miss about Toronto is the classic architecture that surrounds it. These beautiful houses. I couldn't live in a house like that. There were too many stairs. And coming up here is Pope Francis School. This was a school that was built that Santa Cristo kids would have been going to. They built this when they closed a couple of them down, as far as I know. Of course, Pope Francis passed away yesterday at the ripe old age of 88. I don't think I can think of, except for John the 23rd, a more hardworking pontiff and a man of great ecumenicism and social justice minded. I hope his philosophy of a poor church for the poor continues in perpetuity. I would say it's about time. I'm kind of surprised. It was so cool, and it's still very cool out today. The grass is starting to turn green, and the buds are coming out, but I expected the cherry blossoms to be out while I was here. Wrong again. Of course, elementary school here goes all the way up to grade 8. High school starts in grade 9. Or maybe it's... Sorry, grade 10. High school starts. I've just been informed. This used to be the old Orchard Public School. Now we're into the riding where Chrystia Freeland represents. I'm not too sure if Chrystia can hang on. She put her neck out, and I think she gave her enough rope to hang herself. The tulips and the daffodils are starting to come up. College Street, going back and forth. Of course, College turns to Carlton when you get to Yonge. You look down to either side.
She wrote like, "Hey, can people like not stomp on the stairs like that?"
It's actually turning into a very, very nice day here. Stopped by a barber shop yesterday. I asked him how much it would cost to get a shampoo, a haircut, and a shave. He says $75. I was thinking, my God, is you gonna put gold in my hair or what? Again, some more of the Victorian row housing. Just gorgeous. One thing I do miss is there used to be honeysuckles. There used to be places and benches along the way, up and down the avenue, not just at the major streetcar stops and bus stops, so that the guy could rest. And at close to 65 years old, I could always use a rest. Kids are out for recess. We're just gonna quickly plug in here. There. Had to plug in the charging port. Give me a little bit more power. Okay, we're going to head up to Bloor, and we're going to take the bus up to our place, Community of Hope, and spend some time there. They're having their Easter dinner today, so I will be joining them for that. I owe a lot to our place. I owe a lot to Father Joe, who's now since passed, obviously, but I decided that it was time to write a book about coming to Toronto in the 80s and living through bouts of mental illness, trying to adjust to living here. And you say a boy from the prairie, when he comes here, is met with this ominous big city with so much culture, and it becomes overwhelming. This place is for sale. I'll have to take a look at it when I edit down and tell you exactly how much it is. It's a fair-sized place. I always felt that these old residential properties is what made Toronto so worthwhile living in. I was just so overcome with the breathtakingness of it. We're coming up to Harvard Street. Construction, just like Edmonton. 2 seasons. Winter, construction. Somebody was obviously killed at the intersection on their bicycle.
Me too. Food is really important. I love to cook.
I love cooking. One day, I was very lazy and I was working to I just grabbed the chicken breast, the airport, and something.
Another house up for sale. This one looks a little bit more in disrepair. A few houses up for sale in this block. We're going to be crossing the street because the sidewalk is closed. NDP candidate here certainly has some good color in terms of lawn signs. Probably a nice little three-way race here. Here we're coming up to Bloor Street. As Bloor becomes the Danforth after the viaduct. On the other side of Bloor Street as you go west, it'll crisscross with Dundas Street. at 6 points. Bloor will then run south of Dundas. And there's the bus stop where I'll catch my bus. Let's look down Bloor Street. Ken was just down here when he went to visit his sister for Easter dinner. Like I say, I do hope we see Ken again. He's a great guy. Comes out to Alberta quite a bit too, which is nice. Next time he's out in Alberta, we'll hook up and we'll go someplace to do a stream. But he's, like I say, he's been a big supporter of me. He's been a big supporter of the channel. And I have picked up a few of his subscribers as well. And we do thank you for that. This is another beautiful, beautiful building. So anyway, here I am. We're at Ossington subway station where I'm going to catch my train. And for those of you who wish to follow us, you can certainly follow us on Outlaw Radio 1960 on YouTube. It's Bruce and Karen Baker on Facebook, and again on TikTok. It again is Outlaw Radio 1960. We'd be glad to have you aboard. I need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to definitely start my own live streams. I'd love to get that. That's the goal. And until then, this is the Outlaw in Toronto, hardly waiting to get back home to his Alberta home. So I'm just going to sign off now. You take care. Adios.